الدين أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, so here we are drawing to another closure of Ramadan. Today is the 30th day, last night was the 30th night. And tomorrow will be the day of Eid, inshaAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our Ramadan, accept our Qiyam, accept our Siyam, our getting up at night, the extra prayers, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our fasting. And may Allah Azza wa Jal accept all our worship during this month in all different forms that we did to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the courage to step up with Iman and to establish this deen in this country. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspire each and every one of us to do the work of Islam as often as we possibly can and make it the mainstay of our life. Brothers and sisters, you know, tomorrow everybody will be celebrating. And it is important for us to understand the perspective on celebration from an Islamic point of view. As always, everything in this deen focuses on the heart, And celebrating Eid is no different. That there's a heavy focus on the heart. We should know why we are celebrating. We're not celebrating because Ramadan is over. No. Should be the furthest thing from our minds. As a matter of fact, our pious predecessors and the believers in general, they're usually very sad when Ramadan leaves. And they wonder what's going to happen to them after Ramadan. They feel as if they've been forsaken by Ramadan leaving and passing by us. It came at a time when we were low in our Iman, and it left us, those of us who work hard in Ramadan, enriched. And now the challenge is to continue that passion, that devotion, that Iman, the rest of the year, at least till the Hijjah, the month of Hajj. So, the reason for celebration, brothers and sisters, as I said, is not because Ramadan is over and now we can be free, we don't have to fast, we don't have to pray Tarawih, and so on and so forth. No. The reason is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the tawfiq, gave us the ability to achieve this to a certain degree, to achieve fasting, to achieve the praying at night. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped us to get to this point. If it wasn't for Allah, we would have never gotten here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the Iman, He inspired us, He gave us the strength, He gave us the wherewithal to be here and to participate and to really concentrate and focus on Ramadan. Just in our community, in our families, and in the Ummah in general, a lot of people, for them, Ramadan was a party month. It wasn't a month of devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what we are celebrating is the ability to get to this point by the will of Allah, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually helping us. And that's an honor in itself to understand that Allah helped me to get to this stage. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves me so much, despite all my transgressions, despite all my neglect of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired me to be And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped me to achieve these 30 days, to do all the different things that I was able to do by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Had it not been for Allah, I'm nothing. I'm nothing. So this is the reason for the celebration. It's a totally different perspective than when normally people celebrate different holidays. There's nothing holy about those holidays. It's usually something materialistic. People eat a lot. People, they gossip a lot, and so on. Now, there's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself on the day of Eid. This is part of that's what the celebration is all about. But that celebration on Eid is supposed to remind us of the celebration that will happen in Jannah, once we make it to Jannah, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is to remind us that there's a greater celebration that is about to come if we just devote ourselves and we're patient in this world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Yunus, ayah 56, 57 in that area, so Surah 10, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ بِفَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَبِرَحْمَتِهِ فَبِذَلِكَ فَلْيَفْرَحُوا هُوَ خَيْرٌ مِمَّا يَجْمَعُونَ هُوَ خَيْرٌ مِمَّا يَجْمَعُونَ. That by the grace of Allah and by His mercy, Islam and the Quran and so on, this is what you should be happy about. So this was the month of the Quran, and to recite it from beginning to the end, subhanAllah, it's a great achievement. For many of us, we did probably more than once. So, and this is the thing you should be happy about. This is much better than what other people amass in this world, as far as the worldly things and so on. So, and this is why in another place in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Qasas that لا تفرح إن الله لا يحب الفرحين. Don't be so happy, meaning with the glitter and the glamour of the world, the worldly things. Don't be so happy with these things, because Allah does not love those people who get happy with these worldly things. The real happiness is the happiness of the akhirah, and the ability to achieve what Allah has enabled us to achieve, as far as devoting ourselves to Him, submitting to Him, obeying Him, following Him, respecting Him, being in awe of Him, fearing Him, placing our hopes in Him, depending on Him, trusting Him, relying upon Him, having the taqwa of Him, Allah Azza wa Jalla, being mindful of Allah Azza wa Jalla. All these are things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspires us. It's not from us. And when you feel that gush of iman, this is from Allah. And for that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deserves to be praised. But He chose me to inspire me with that iman. This is what this celebration is all about. Having said that, brothers and sisters, there's a few things, inshallah, that we need to observe from the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tomorrow morning. And actually starting from tonight, today and tonight. First of all, as the Ramadan comes to a close, spend today is Sunday. It's a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that it's a day where we have holiday. It's a holiday for almost everyone. And it's a day that you can spend in asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness for whatever your neglect was during the time of Ramadan. During the first 29 days, you can make it up by today, by spending the time and speaking to Allah, being mindful of Allah, and just having a private conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and asking Allah to inspire you. So that's the first thing. In addition to that, there are a few things we should keep in mind. Tonight, at Maghrib, we'll start the takbirat. Not after, this is different from Eid al-Adha, that on that, you start after certain prayers, you say the takbirat. But the takbir here is in general. You say it any time. After the salah, when you're on your way, when you're on your way back, and wherever you go, you just say it continuously as often as you can, all the way up to the time when the Imam comes out for the Salat al-Eid. You repeat that takbir. And this goes in line with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ in the ayat of Ramadan, Surah Al-Baqarah, وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this fasting for you and make things easy and doesn't want difficulty for you. And so you can complete this period of fasting, and inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to complete this period today. وَلِتُكَبِّرُ اللَّهِ, so that you can aggrandize Allah, you can express that, you can embrace the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of how He guided you. He guided you to this point. And guidance, brothers and sisters in Islam, is just not, normally we understand guidance as, leading you to the right way, to show you the right way, right? This is how we normally understand guidance. But the word hidayah, or this word huda in Islam, in the Quran, it means a little bit more than that. It also means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the passion, inspires you, so you have the drive, you have the motivation to be rightly guided and to act upon that guidance. This is also part of the meaning of that Allah guiding us. So the takbir you're supposed to say as often as you can. What is the takbir? There are many different statements when it comes to the takbir, very, very different forms that you can say. But perhaps the ones that are most authentically reported from the Sahaba, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in, is the short ones, which is Allahu Akbar, either twice or thrice. You can say it two times or three times. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahi alhamd. If you say that, then this is known as the takbir. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest. There is no one who deserves to be worshipped but Allah. La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest. The fourth and the fifth time. Walillahi alhamd. And to Allah belongs all praise and thanks. So, really, if you take a look at the takbir, it kind of summarizes our life. Our entire journey in life, it summarizes it. And as you can see, out of the 7 statements that are given, 5 of them say Allah. Allah is the greatest, said 5 times out of the 7 statements that are made in the takbir. So obviously there's some significance to that. Allah is the greatest means that Allah is our highest priority in life, not ourselves. So as Muslims, the direct message is we lead Allah-centric lives, not self-centered lives. We are God-centered people. We're Allah-centered people as Muslims. We're not self-centered people. And then the result of all of this is that there's no one who deserves to be worshipped but Allah. Allah is so great, and we devote ourselves to Allah, and therefore how do we express that, this embracing of the greatness of Allah? By worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not worshipping our own opinions, our own logic, our own rationale, our own achievements, our own preferences. No, we worship Allah because He is the only one who deserves to be worshipped. And then walillahi alhamd at the end, and then all the praise and thanks, gratitude go towards Allah. Because He gave me so much. And despite my disobedience, despite my intransigence, despite my rebellion towards Allah, He keeps giving. He keeps giving. Keeps giving. So loving, so caring, so forgiving, so clement, so merciful, so generous, so gracious. Allah Azza wa Jalla. Truly He is the greatest. Allahu Akbar. So all praise and thanks goes to Him. Oh, by the way, who inspired me to thank Him? Allah. So that deserves the thanks. That deserves the hamd. And it's an infinite progression. You can never stop thanking Allah enough. Everything comes from Him. So this is the idea of the takbir. This is the sentiment. This is the feeling that we should have as we're reciting the takbir. It's not just mere words that dribble off our tongue as if there's just spit coming off our tongue. There's a meaning. The heart is engaged. It's a life-changing expression. So the first thing is al-takbir. The second thing is that we should take a bath before coming to the Salat al-Eid. It's not obligatory, it's recommended, but we should try to do that if we can, inshallah. The third thing is we should wear our best clothes on that day, or try to, as best as we can. The fourth thing is to groom yourself for the day of Eid. Make sure you groom yourselves and and your body parts and so on. Number 5, eat an odd number of dates. Eid al-Fitr is different than Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha, you don't eat anything before the Salat al-Eid. It's different. But Eid al-Fitr, you spent the entire month in Ramadan fasting. So, but on the day of Eid, you differ from your convention in the month of Ramadan, and you do the opposite, you eat. And the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is to eat an odd number of dates. To eat an odd number of dates. 1, 3, 5. But again, you don't overdo it. You never, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, eat in Surah Al-A'raf, eat and drink, but don't go to extremes. Don't be extravagant. Don't go overboard. Number 6 is just make sure there's a certain distance that you walk to the Salat al-Eid. So inshallah, I know most of us will be driving. As you know, we'll be praying at Showplace Arena with our brothers and sisters from PGMA. And a few other masajid as well will be joining us, in the PG County area. So you're going to park at a certain spot, and from there, obviously, you walk. So there's a big blessing in that to walk, to be walking to the Salat al-Eid. Again, I'm pointing this out mainly because this is the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and some of us, we kind of show off on the day of Eid, and it's a day to celebrate, but it's not a day to show off. Like some people are on a skateboard or different things like that. The sunnah is to walk to the Salat al-Eid. The next thing is that normally for Salat al-Eid, because it's a community affair, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam would go outside of the masjid. He would not, normally he would not pray in the masjid that they would pray. They would go out into the field. And in a big field where everybody would come together from all the different masajid. And the whole idea is a unity, to bring people together from all different areas and bring them all together at least as once or twice a year. So that inshallah, that was the idea behind celebrating with our brothers and sisters from other masajid tomorrow, inshallah. Then the number 8, I suppose that's where I am. Number 8 is that the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is that when you go to Eid, you select one path, and when you come back, you select another path. So you choose different paths. This is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And obviously the wisdom behind that is that as you're going, you're saying salam to different people, a different set of people. When you're coming back, you're saying salam to a different set of people. And obviously I understand that we're not living in a Muslim society, so it's not like everybody is Muslim along the way. But again, the idea is to follow the sunnah as best as you can. And if you know people along the way, in the different gas stations, stores, or houses, whatever, it's a good thing just to drop by and say Eid Mubarak, and salam, and so on. Believe it or not, brothers and sisters, you cannot imagine the warmth that brings. That you visit somebody, even if it's from the door, that you just say salam to them and so on, and it means a lot to people. You cannot imagine. Another thing to keep in mind is that number 9 is to come early. Come early for the salah. Start planning today. After Maghrib, you have plans all the way till Fajr. And the Sahaba themselves, radiallahu anhum, they used to leave right after Fajr to go for Salat al-Eid. The Salat al-Eid, I forget the time, I think it's 10 o'clock. 9:30? 9:30. Okay, so 9:30 inshallah will be the Salat. And so, come early so you don't have to get caught in the parking and, the traffic and this and that. Come early inshallah and recite the takbir, reflect about Ramadan and so on. In addition to this, when you understand that on Eid, there are no extra prayers, like sunnahs before or sunnahs afterwards. There's nothing like that. It's just the Salat al-Eid and that's it. There's no adhan or iqamah, for the Salat al-Eid. And then sometimes you'll hear people saying as-salat jami'ah, that the salah is convening, it's commencing and so on. There's no such thing in the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that you don't do that. Okay. In addition to this, it's a day of entertainment. It's a day to enjoy. There's nothing wrong with that, but just make sure that the enjoyment is halal, and you don't go overboard and doing things that are haram. Sometimes some of our youth, and it's not just the youth, but even the adults, they'll be playing this music out loud from the cars. Oh, it's Eid. But the idea obviously is that there's music that is haram, that we should not be dabbling in any way at all, and so on. So we should not be. So anyway, it's a day of entertainment, but at the same time keep it limited to what is halal. The women are encouraged to come for this salah, even if they are indisposed at that time of the month or due to birth, whatever. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam encouraged them to come. He encouraged the children to come. And if you happen to miss the salah, for some reason, then if you like, you can make it up. You don't have to, because there's a difference of opinion among the scholars whether it's obligatory or not. But anyway, if you like, you can make it up. But if you arrive at the salah late and you happen to join when everybody's sitting down just before they say salam, you've made it then. Inshallah, if you want, you can get up and do the 2 rak'ahs if you like. Not if you like, but you should if you have made the salah. Then that's inshallah. That's pretty much it in brief about the different things we should keep in mind for the Salat al-Eid. As far as the method of the Salah, how many takbirs you should say it in and so on, inshallah, the Imam, this time will be Abdul Rahman, Shaykh Abdul Rahman al-Hijazi. Inshallah, he will explain how he's going to do it, and we should follow that the way that he says it, inshallah. Okay, inshallah, we'll finish with that for today, brothers and sisters. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our Ramadan and may He inspire us. These are the best 10 nights that we've spent. Now the best 10 days are going to come in Dhul Hijjah, the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. And that will be another, fuel stop, for us to re-energize ourselves. So then we have to last till the next Ramadan. Our pious predecessors, they first 6 months they used to be very sad, that Ramadan had left them. And then 6 months they would be yearning for the next Ramadan. They would be praying, making dua that Allah helps them to get to the next Ramadan. So inshallah we'll finish with this for this morning. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it a very successful last day of Ramadan. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with a beautiful, beautiful Eid for each and every one of us. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.